Or getting old. The eyes need to be help adjusted. Look at you, sexy thing, you. Right, where was I? I like art because it helps you just focus on something creative. Move away from, I don't know, things like being depressed about the world, and having no power to do much about the world that we're in. I think, I understand depression is quite normal. In that we don't live, as the saying goes, in a perfect system. Arguably, the planet is perfect. The systems that we choose to be ruled over in are not perfect and leave a lot to be desired. Therefore, depression should be seen as normal under those circumstances. But we don't want to be so depressed that we can't get out of it. I've been in those situations in my teenage years where depression becomes a big hole that you fall into, and so deep that you can't get out of it. And then, for me at least, they said it was a chemical imbalance. That's the usual standard thing, actually, really. And pills would help, antidepressants would help alleviate or help get you out of that hole, get you on a steady place or of a plateau. And for a while there, I did use antidepressants prescribed to me for that purpose, but ultimately I found that it disempowers you and it doesn't really help you question the reality of your situation to a point where you're not looking for distractions like fun and parties and going to rugby and watching, being entertained in order to find happiness in an otherwise fairly unhappy situation. But how then did I deal with that is to simply go off them and learn how to control my depression. So I recognized it and understood where the signs where it becomes that pit again, that hole that you're in that you can't get out of. So you don't want to go there in the first place. I didn't want to. I've been there, didn't like it. Used the antidepressants to help me get out of it, but found that I needed to get off them so as not to rely on them. So I had to, and also I had this ornery type attitude that, hey, excuse me, but part of the whole reason for being depressed is quite legitimate. And these drugs aren't going to do anything more than, I don't know, delegitimize it or ignore it, or I don't know, pretend it's not there anymore. And it is there. And we're all suffering under it to one degree or another. But there's a lot of people out there that don't want to take advantage of others in order to get their life, what they want in their life, their lifestyles and stuff like that, which is what capitalism is about, really. And that's the kind of system we live in, really. And so people are using other people to get the things that they want in life, and it's legitimized and thought of as quite the thing to do, normal, in fact. But personally, I can't do that to others. It's not to say that I haven't, but I don't like the feeling. It depresses me. So I'll go without rather than try and take it off you, because you've got something that will make me better if I can get it off you in a better situation. But that's the world, and as ugly as that sounds, that's the way it is. And most people are okay with it. And the reason for that is because we're like it's in our DNA. We've been doing it for so many centuries that it is indeed normal. And it's congratulated and rewarded. But its downside isn't really looked at very often. And the world, whether we like it or not, the world's having a problem. It's in a problem. It's been in a problem for thousands of years because it's doing that same kind of thing to itself, really. And we do it to each other, we do it to ourselves. And we're all one species when you get down to it. And we need to learn to find other ways of getting what we want where everybody wins. And, there are some people, or many people even, that would laugh at such an idea, mockingly even, but, whatever. I think more and more people are at least trying to see the possibility of other alternatives and sort of put it out there. We've got the tool here called the internet. We might as well use it and put it out there and get it, whatever. Be brave, really. That's what it takes. But, I feel better because it's unscripted and I can sit here and I decide, well, I've got the tools, why not use them? But here I am, I'm doing art and just talking as I get along. So I'm kind of hiding behind the art, but not really. It's just the way of it. These goggles I'm wearing is not really to hide it, so that I can see what I'm doing better. But there you go. I'm just trying something out, and maybe I'll carry it on. Maybe it's good therapy because it's part of me not wanting to, fall into that hole, which is so easy to do. And you have to look at. I wrote a song that's got the line, my treasure chest holds what I need to cope. A touch of love, a pinch of faith, and a truckload of hope. And for me, that's relevant to my situation and my feeling, my emotional feeling, my individual, who I am, who I've become, who I'm becoming, how I'm developing, etc., etc. We're all human. We need to sort of get over celebrating the celebrity and celebrating each other as human beings, because that's what celebrities are, really. And they have a lot to teach us about taking life by the short and curlies and doing something artistic with it. But they're no more stars than the rest of us, and our bodies are made up of stardust. Some people say that we are the same as the stars. Well, our bodies are anyway. I've got other opinions about what we really are. We're not just the body. That's just something that we wear, but that's for another time. Really, I'm more into just talking more about just life as it is, and depression is okay, and it should be embraced as a normal, natural reaction to something that's really not so natural, We in the animal kingdom treat each other like shit, really, compared to the other animals, so there we are, top of the food chain, blah, blah, blah. And we really need to stop being in the Stone Age still. We've got all this technology, but we still haven't changed our basic attitudes. And that's not a judgment on it, that's part and parcel, but we need to at least give ourselves the chance to listen to the reason, celebrate, okay, we're in this situation, in this universe, stuck on this planet. It's getting smaller and smaller by the day, and maybe celebrate that more as something to nurture and drop the attitudes that we've developed over thousands of years through culture and religion and politics and science. Even science is not the whole, science is, I like science. I wouldn't be sitting in front of this computer being able to do this if it wasn't for science and exploration. But we have to allow science to give us awe about our predicament and our situation. And when science is used to just basically help that rip-off system rip people off, it's not really doing a very good job, or not as good a job as it could do. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I've nearly finished what I'm doing here. I guess I should blow on a little bit more if I want to show my enormous public what I've been doing while I've been blahing. So what else can I talk about? Well, if we just carry on with the depression thing, it's like, okay, if we be depressed, but we don't want to be like going in that hole that I talked about. So we need a balance. We need to be able to acknowledge why the need to be depressed, but also why the need to balance it with awe and wonder about our situation too. It's got such potential. Human beings have such potential. We're doing pretty good in a lot of departments too, don't get me wrong. I'm not like downing the whole human condition. It's just that I feel that our systems of disparity, it doesn't matter whether it's communism or socialism or capitalism or religion or culture or anything else along those lines. It's about working with something that is ultimately helping all of us, not separating us as so often has happened in the past, causing us to distrust each other and use each other, abuse each other, and generally not get our shit together. So I guess we start with ourselves, not with trying to change others. And for me, I'll accept my depression as normal and natural under the circumstances, but I won't let it get me down to the point where I'm just a victim of life. And I'll watch out not to try and make other people my victim, and not to allow other people to make me their victim. And I think all in all, that's a good recipe for at least coping with the situation. I have good friends around me, and that's really important. Find the people that aren't ripping you off. Find the people that are loving and nurturing and supportive, and support and be loving and nurturing with those people. Try and spread it around like a virus without having to knock on people's doors and tell them about Jesus, God or something. Just do it. Never mind who's what. So anyway, that's my little thing, and this is what I've been doing. Is that backwards? Well, you work it out. Love will scare away fear. All right, this is 7 minutes longer than it should be, because those are the rules apparently. 10 minutes is good, because you people apparently can't concentrate more than that. You lose interest or something. But anyway, catch you later.